Hi everyone, I'm Erica and I'm a contributor at UTV. You might recognize my voice from the broadcast or even my face when I decide to show it. But I'm here to tell you a little bit more about my BlackBerry story. And that is how I came to be a BlackBerry user and why I've continued to be a BlackBerry user. So I hope you're willing to share your story as well because I really would love to hear them. But let's get started with mine. I've always been a BlackBerry fan. From like back in my college days before smartphones were even a thing. And I'm not telling you how old I am, just know that that's how old I am. But I didn't get my first BlackBerry phone until I was an adult and working on my own and had my own money. And that's when I decided to, get the phone. The very first phone that I got, it was I think this is an 8530 curve. It was purple. My youngest picked it out because at the time purple was her favorite color. And it was my favorite phone. Like I think it might still be one of my top favorites, although I don't have that many and I love them all. But this phone has been through a lot with me. If you can see, there are buttons missing and torn off because it has been through a lot. And even after it was retired from being my daily driver, it became a classroom tool because I was a teacher. And I gave it to the class and the kids used it to take pictures. It was our class camera. They used it to listen to music. And they used it for the number recognition on the beautiful little QWERTY keyboard. So it was definitely a teaching tool, and that's how it got so beat up towards the end of its life. But this was my first one. My next one after that, once it died, was the 9930. I'm not sure if these numbers are right. I might be wrong. You can yell at me later. But it was the bold, and it was the first touchscreen, and it had the same trackpad and tool belt and everything. And I don't know if you can see, but some of the buttons are worn off. There's actually a piece missing from the screen up here, and it's cracked. This was definitely another great phone for me, and I used it until it died. And while I was using this as my daily driver, I also decided to purchase Playbooks. Not just one, but two. And these Playbooks, I bought these when I was getting my master's degree. I'm not sure which one of these is cracked, but I can't really tell which one because the cracks are so fine. I use them for schooling. I use them for on-the-go research paper writing. I use them for quick browsing. I love the fact that I could connect it to my phone network and not have to be on Wi-Fi to be able to use it. I love the browser. I even used it for some gaming. But I ended up using it for work as well because I was at that point in time I was teaching classes to parents. And whenever I had to do a makeup class with a parent, I would do one-on-one teaching using my Bold and my Playbook and BlackBerry Bridge. I would use Bridge to get the PowerPoint on the Playbook, and it would be my little remote, and I would go through the training with my parents like that. And it turned out to be really easy and entertaining and fun, and they kept asking me about what tablet I was using, and I got to talk about BlackBerry a little bit that way, so it was cool. And then when that one cracked, much like my Bold cracked, I got another one, and it basically at that point became a gaming tablet for me and my kid. And then after all that happened, I decided to jump into BlackBerry 10, and I waited for this. I wanted to get the Z10 because it was the first BlackBerry 10 phone, and I wanted to support the brand, but I have to have my QWERTY, so I waited for the Q, and that was my next phone. And this one, before I show it to you, it died a tragic and fabulous death, so it is entirely cracked. I'll share that story with you in a minute, but this phone, it's amazing. I still love this phone. I mean, all these phones, I have them in my hand again, and it's like an automatic time travel to that moment in time when I was carrying it around every day. And I still love the feel of this Q in my hand. But yeah, the tragic ending of this phone, it would still be in use today if this hadn't happened. And I don't mean as a daily driver because I upgraded, but this phone would still be in use by my daughters because I have since let my daughters use my old phones on Wi-Fi for messaging. My oldest decided to take it on a field trip for school and to take pictures and listen to music and on the bus and things like that. And she handed it to a teacher to take a picture of her and her friends. Teacher dropped it and it fell face first on a rock. And that is why it's so beautifully useless now. But all my phones have met some horrible fate, and hopefully that is over, because now I bring you to my current daily driver, which if you watch the vlogcast, you probably already know what I use. You probably already know what I'm getting in a few weeks too, as soon as it, release it. But for now, I'm on BlackBerry 10, and I'm using my passport. I do have the AT&T passport. You can tell by the rounded corners. And this phone is fantastic. I wouldn't trade for this phone for anything if it wasn't for the fact that I just want a new BlackBerry in my hand. I want a new device. There's nothing wrong with this phone. It works wonderfully for what I need. It does everything that I could ask it to do, and anything that it doesn't do is either because I don't try to do it that way or I don't need it to do it for me. So this phone is definitely 100% perfect for my use case. But I am upgrading to the Key1 as soon as I'm able, as soon as they release it. And I'm excited to try Android. It will be my first BlackBerry Android. A lot of people might be wondering why I'm switching, because I am a BlackBerry fanatic and I love BlackBerry 10. I even wrote several articles about why I'm on BlackBerry 10 since the BlackBerry Androids came out. But the reason that I'm choosing to go Android is not because BlackBerry 10 doesn't do anything I don't need. It's just because I want to try it as a contributor at UTB. I feel like I'm expected to know how both OSs work. I feel sometimes something will come up and I feel like I can't accurately report on it for you because I've never touched the BlackBerry Android experience. So that's one of the biggest reasons, beyond just wanting a new BlackBerry or wanting a new phone and it being so beautiful and wonderful and oh my goodness, is it gorgeous. But I also want to do it so that I can be a better contributor for the site. So I'd love to hear your BlackBerry stories. I hope that they are more exciting than mine. Hopefully fewer cracks. But share, comment, like, tweet, do whatever you can to share your story because I'm anxious to hear it.